Welcome to a new Factorio Space Age Deathworld Marathon playthrough. We're not going to go all the way through. This is kind of a parallel world, a side quest, a what-if thing. We're probably going to go to bots and first rocket. But what we are going to do is specifically look for a map that is, that we haven't seen before, that we don't know where things are, and also specifically look for a desert, because the air quotes main playthrough of Factorio Space Age Deathworld Marathon is currently at the position of weird little lion over there, okay, whatever. Spidertrons. Yeah, Spidertrons with a lot of personal defense lasers, a lot of flamethrower walls, basically the combat problem completely solved, and one of the remaining questions being what happens if we instead had a desert world instead of the nice kind of forested novice that we started with. And so that's what we're doing today. Where even is the starting copper? Oh, it's on top of these two nests. So that's, I mean, there's a whole lot of, okay, inaccessible iron, questionable iron. I don't even know that we can get any of that copper without first angering those biters. So did we also not? Oh, we didn't build these. Cool. But it did look like there were two nests and no worms, which means with a bunch of fish we might be able to axe it down. So maybe we should go and do that first. Yeah, let's leave. Can we do this with 45 fish, hopefully? I was hoping that we could get the mining drills up first and at least be collecting copper while we did this. I think we at least have to deal with all of the guards first. Maybe we should have had the mining drills on the same hotbar. Never mind. The thing I'm wondering about now is this too peaceful if we get two? Why did I put them on? Why did I put these on number 2? Okay, whatever. Yeah, is this map actually too peaceful if we deal with both of these nests? I guess it is still. We are still going to struggle for not very much iron, and we are going to have to do a bunch of work pushing those nests to the south before we get much more iron. Yeah, cool. I guess we just push through the rest of these nests. The trick I'm using here is I'm standing slightly further away from the nest, but still within punching nest range, but further away than the distance that the biters run up to me to attack me. So as I just hold spacebar, I will, like that, naturally punch any biters that arrive first, but then immediately default back to punching the nest, all while just standing here and pushing spacebar, which is super interesting. If I get too close to the nests like this, then when biters spawn, they will attack me and I won't prioritize back to the nest. Whereas this guy was part of an attack group. He was going to attack both of this, because we are polluting these. There we go. We got to be just in range and not have that other attack pooling that will eventually destroy our copper miners, because we would like to keep those copper miners. I've just also noticed that there is a third burner miner in my inventory that absolutely could have been on this copper this whole time. Oh well, we'll worry about that later. We're already not being optimized. I mean, we're already locking ourselves out of certain achievements. This was never going to be an achievement run, never mind. Here we go. Okay, a certain kind of Deathworld Marathon run, I guess, where the armor is a craft. Yeah, we craft armor before any labs, and we don't have these. We just need more iron. Okay, do we leave? Okay, whatever. And we have multiple nest kills before we even craft a lab, so that's exciting. Let's get one of each of these, and then we've got, yeah. Let's go put the fish back in the lake. Oh, here are the coal rocks. How did I miss these coal rocks? I guess we were worried about other things like whether or not we had any copper at all. So we've got the basics of automation researching. We've got one boiler. We've got one lab. Pretty normal stuff. Yeah, let's talk about the other map settings, I guess. This is the map we used for the air quotes main series of Factorio Space Age Deathworld Marathon. Yeah, we had it on Deathworld Marathon. The nests in here were a little bit of a concern, these guys all over here, but after we had wandered down to this iron, got some tech, been able to push these nests, build the main base kind of in here, and yeah, a lot of pollution absorption work done by all of these forests, so that all ended up pretty peaceful after this first, nervous section. So instead of that, we're going to do kind of a thing that it will be the opposite of that. Let's, also bump the enemy bases just a little. Let's also, under advanced, reduce the attack cost multiplier by, quite a significant amount. Let's throw up the technology multiplier a little bit as well. So we're looking at regular Deathworld Marathon maps, but we're also looking for one that is a desert world, and we'll just restart the series if we don't find that, because we're also not looking at the preview at all. And yeah, that's what we're working with. I think this map that we've put only a couple of minutes into, we reject for not being Deathworldy enough, in that, yeah, it's desert, yeah, there's some close nests that we're going to have to worry about, but then there's all this tree cover up here. We've got this copper patch that we can just mine without really worrying about it. I think we look for something worse. And then to show that this really is a blind run, welcome to a new Factorio Space Age Deathworld Marathon playthrough. We're not going to go all the way through. This is kind of a parallel world, a side quest, a what-if thing. We're probably going to go to bots and first rocket. So all the science we had is in the lab. These guys have run out of power as well. We have a couple more. Do we want this many? Do we want some of these on... I mean, it is a Deathworld Marathon on a desert world, but we do have a little bit of space to work with. We've got this much space to work with, which is not a lot. I think I would like to wander around and see what other... I mean, I'm presuming that there are nests everywhere. What even do we want to make? I think we get a second lab, see if we can get 2 assembly machines. I did want to get this coal down. Maybe we should put these things in the correct place. Oh, we do have coal. We're going to try and save the trees because we don't have a whole lot of trees, and we're going to need trees for things like power poles as well. And also just all their pollution absorption work will be doing better. I didn't need that, did I? I did not. We're also going to need 2 inserters if we're going to set up some inserters and some basic labs while we go for a bit of a walk. We're going to come back and all the stuff is going to have run out of fuel, so I'm kind of tempted to take, say, 3, 4 of these with me in case we find anything else elsewhere that we would like to collect while we're there. And we're going to go up to a 3rd lab because why not? It does strike me now that the only way this works is if we also have gears to leave here, so I guess we're doing that as well. Should we try and balance out this copper a little better? Okay, let's see if we can find some other helpful tiles on which we can put pollution. Because the more places we have pollution, especially in Deathworld Marathon, this is a bigger deal, the more places we can be absorbing pollution. So, yeah, pollution that is taken off the map via tile absorption is a whole lot more convenient than pollution that is taken off the map via nest absorption, because one of those things doesn't require us getting attacked. And yeah, this is more or less what we expected when we set up this Deathworld Marathon. Yeah, monsters everywhere, monsters in every direction. We have found some coastline and some forests, which might be super helpful if we can get through. Like, we need to deal with the biters that are, yeah, in every direction, but in particular between, yeah, all of these guys between our base, which is over here somewhere, and this forest and water. But if we can do that, then this entire side of the map might be pretty safe. But until then, it is not safe. We are doing this pretty slowly. We would eventually like to get this going pretty quickly because I am interested in seeing whether or not we can do There Is No Spoon, which is a significantly easier in Space Age than it is in before Space Age, because we don't have to do purple and yellow. We just have to do blue science, get a rocket up. Don't even need to worry about RCUs, it's just blue chips. But Deathworld Marathon is still going to be an interesting situation. Who needs... You all need stuff? Can we mine this coal? I think probably we can, but not for very long, and we're going to have to... I mean, I could do things like check exactly where the chunk boundaries are, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to kind of cheekily hack this stuff in, and I don't think I can get either of these coal rocks. I think they're, yeah, especially with all these biters just hanging around up here, I think they're too close. We are not going to be staying here for long. It's just here are some resources that we can grab that will, yeah, be a different pollution cloud to the main base that we need to not worry about so much after we can pick them up and run away later. We have not yet been to the south, though I think that's a place I want to explore. We also want to get, yeah, the rest of this going. We did end up getting a shotgun that we're probably not going to use. How many do we need for this? 125 and then another 50, so we are still a fair way away from having anything useful that we can do a whole lot with. I should put the rest of my toolbars together. I don't know if we can squeeze in between these bases. In fact, we cannot. But we do have the armor and the shotgun, so as long as we only pull one base's worth of dudes, we can probably get away. Probably. The other downside being we haven't actually found the other materials we wanted to mine. We're going for a walk to see if we can find additional mining patches that we can grab without necessarily contributing to the main cloud we're about to make in a big way, and we are not finding any, which also would suggest that we are going to have a lot of combat to do to get to any decent kind of material expansion. It's not the iron we wanted, but I guess we'll take some of this copper because we can. We're again not staying here long because we can't afford to, but we will at least put some pollution in a place where we can forget about it and not worry about it, and at least have some other, you know, amount of... I should also get some trees from here, I guess. Yeah, that was 100% always going to happen. We knew that was going to be a thing. We were never planning on staying here very long. In fact, I think it's time to start leaving. Yeah, this cloud we plan on just never actually paying the costs for. These guys can just mill around, do whatever, hang out in their base, don't care. Maybe up here somewhere we can find some iron, but it doesn't seem particularly likely. Oh, we found more copper. That is another thing we care about. I think we grab a whole lot of coal because we can. I mean, coal is also the thing that we didn't really need because we got enough rocks. But if we can get some amount of coal here and not worry about the pollution cost, then we will. There's a distinct and disappointing lack of additional iron. I guess this one might be accessible. In fact, if we're saying that this one is accessible because we were going to mine a bunch and leave the pollution on the map and then run away, this one probably is too. Although this is a lot closer to still being an issue when we go back and start to do regular base stuff here, which as you can see, that little section of mining we've got is already like we're maybe 1 or 2 tiles away, so being able to get some extra resources from somewhere else and then just picking everything up and running away nomad style is still at this point probably helpful. I don't even think we polluted these guys, but we are still just going to take that amount of stuff and run away with it, because we would still like to, you know, actually get automating stuff rather than just be running around doing nomadic things. Do we even turn any of these resources into science? I don't think we do. I think we would rather get, yeah, a couple of mining drills. Let's get another 2 of each of these guys. Let's get the 5 burner inserters. And yeah, use this for just infrastructure. Yeah, these patches are all a little bit far away from each other and a bit of a mess. I think we just uh, try to make some of these things. Do we want... This does not strike me as a good idea, but we're going to see if we can run the first of these smelting lanes. Oh yeah, maybe we should have belt if we're going to do that. Maybe we should have something helping us make gears if we want to do this automation. We're going to try and run this first lane of mining just basically through where those trees are for no particularly good reason. And I don't know whether we are... Do we even try and process this into intermediates, or do we just leave everyone with a whole lot of coal? See if we can, yeah, make some more belt. This is a situation where we can accidentally destroy the base pretty easily if we are in the position to scale up and we decide that we do, and then we annoy, for example, some of these bases. That could be an issue. I mean, we have bullets. Maybe we do just... we've put another 2 drills out. We've gone up to a quarter of a belt of processing. I think we do try and get some number of these plates into things like gun turrets and bullets and stuff like that, even though we have made a design which I believe is 20... Yeah, this is 20 furnaces long. This is not even a good number of furnaces. Whatever. Don't care. It's going to be fine. I guess we're going to do a pretty basic looking mini science, although we're already starting to make a mess of this. Yeah, this one wants to be built. Maybe we should actually build it. Let's get a couple more. We've got 3, let's go to 4. And then, can we do something that looks remotely normal? And is that even really a concern? We can't put one. Okay, you are going to move your stuff so that we can go out here. Oh, you also need... You don't really need coal. We put a whole lot of coal in there. But yeah, we're going to have boxes of gears here, and then... not those. We're going to need more assemblers here. We're going to need another assembler, and then actually a couple more assemblers, because we would like to be putting other assemblers here, not just for this red science, of which I believe we don't have enough copper mining to make this work at all, and in fact we need to get some of this back to make the inserters we wanted. That's cool. Do we want pipes here at all? I don't think we want pipes here. I think we just want bullets. I think that's more or less the place we will be. Do we even want... I mean, we could get some steel now as well, but we've got, yeah, this kind of mini science. We actually need more copper, and then also more coal. I was trying to figure out if we could just leave this position here, having semi-automated it, and the answer to that would be no, which means that we probably need to get some of this copper back so that we can start making some 9 gun turrets. That does not seem too many. Some gun turrets, because I still want to leave this alone. I still want to yeah, give this iron away. I still would like to, I guess, limit this box as well, and the coal wanted to go in here. Not the stone. Stone is bad. Do not be putting stone in there. Yeah, I wanted to kind of leave this here and go and grab some of this iron as well, just because we could, but I don't know if we're going to be able to leave this for so long. Yeah, we might actually have a lot of combat to do, and then a surprisingly well-defended little enclave, although how many nests do we need to push for that to be true? We need to push basically all of these, and maybe there's still a land bridge here. Basically all of these, and then there's still a land bridge here. And then this other side is, yeah, that's kind of not tractable until we get late into the game. And we are pushing the north as well. If they attack into the smelting, we are defended on the left side, but they could also crash into the smelting and give us a little bit of a problem. So that is a thing we are not going to think about. We're just going to wander down here to this cheeky little iron and see if we can also extract a little bit more of this basically for free. And looks like there is a land bridge. That's fine. Not a land bridge. There's just a little peninsula thing which has a couple of rocks which we're going to take because why not. Our material collection is still more or less non-existent. We have, what, a quarter of a line of iron plus the burner miners we've just put down as kind of a one-off. The other thing that's going to be really interesting, and the other reason why we're kind of doing this scouting, is to see if there's any convenient oil at all. That could still be a major issue, and I don't think we've actually found any oil yet, even though we have scouted a moderately large area, and in terms of the work we would have to do to secure ourselves within this area, yeah, all those guys just to the left, quite a... Yeah, we're not even going to be able to secure all the area we've already found. You might have to do a little oil outpost or something like that. That kind of stuff is fun. Yeah, these guys. That attack was pulling so close to the burner miners that they are immediately attacking us, which is actually the strat, if I'm thinking about it. We're going to grab a bunch of... We're going to get all of these gun turrets. Okay, the 2 gun turrets we've got... Okay, no, the biters are now pooling in a different place. Okay, we're still going to make a bunch of bullets. Those bullets are going to be useful. We're going to empty out all of these mining drills. Actually, the top ones we're going to give one more cycle so that we can... I mean, we could probably hang out here a bit longer, to be honest. Like, not very much longer. Maybe one more cycle of coal, because these guys are going to hang around. Are we done? Can we be done? I would rather go rather... Yeah, there we go. And now we can start to pull all these things down, and those biters will be sad and confused and hanging around, having a little party by themselves. We don't need to talk to them anymore. They'll be fine. Yeah, these burner miner drills, I reckon we just get rid of them. We only have a couple of mining drills, but also at this point we don't want to necessarily play more than a couple of mining drills because we also, where's my hotbar, don't have the resources to be able to secure this much stuff. Do we also... Let's start cooking stone, because we've got another 2 mining drills. This is exactly the overexpansion that we said could get us killed. To just start cooking stone for walls as well, because walls gonna be pretty important. The little base that could is still doing, I guess, everything that we would like it to, I suppose. Okay, we're out of copper in a couple of places, but we have more copper, which we have not spread around well at all, and I would actually rather prefer to have... Yeah, I've got gears. I think we need some more gun turrets, because that's kind of how this works. Power plant extension that we do not need, but we're going to do it anyway, and then we're going to leave a whole pile of coal in here, and then we're not going to defend it, and we're going to hope it's fine, even though if we pollute these bases to the south, which we are almost certainly doing, yeah, we need to bring some more gun turrets down here to be able to, yeah. In fact, I think we probably want to get walls next, even though that feels bad. The green science rush into military 2 for grenades might even not be a thing we get around to doing, because we're not going to be in a position to push these bases particularly easily. I guess we try and build a kind of little base in here and just make a mess with it, is what I'm thinking, and is why we're going to put these coils assemblers here. And they're going to make some coils, we're going to do electronics with them, we're going to try and build a base around that, I guess. We do have a whole lot of belt, which is nice. Which of... Oh, these attacks are already getting... Yeah, pretty intense, and we need to defend the power plant on both sides, and we have not, and we need to defend the copper on this side, and we have not, and it is turning into the Deathworld Marathon that we thought we might see. Oh hey, you know what we should do? We should convert all of this stuff into wall, because that's kind of why we have the wall, and why we set up that stone cooking, was to be able to protect this stuff in exactly the way that we need to for these turrets to, you know, last a little longer. Oh, we're already defending from this direction too. Cool, cool, cool. Repositioning this slightly. And the next thing I'm wondering is how much of this, like how big do we try and build a little base? Because we are not going to be trying to build a big base. Oh wait, we wanted to leave all of these turrets? I guess all of these turrets? Yeah, we're still in the middle of making walls. Do we flip around this base now and try to build a thing here, or do we keep the other little mini science thing in the direction that it is? Things that are not clear. Give me both of these. Can we have... Yeah, that's one more. We don't want to expand too much, he said. That's a nice way to get ourselves killed by polluting too much. But we are still going to extend the iron mining by a bit. How much is that? 11? Okay, fine. And then we've got, yeah, these 2 extra labs, and I reckon we're just going to... Actually, let's build another 2 labs. And then we're going to need a couple more inserters, and we'll have 2... Yeah, we'll have 2 labs per... mini science little setup, and this will do a better job of being able to push through the slow text like damage. Is Are we going to be putting physical bullet damage in this as well? Give me these. Yeah, we are going to actually research bullet damage after this logistic science finishes. We're still going to want a lot of guns. We're going to prioritize those. I kind of want more mining drills for more wall, but yeah, I guess we're just going to lean into that. It's going to be fine. How many? 100. 100 is the number of green science packs we need to get to unlock grenades, which I think might let us do a push, but what would we push? Because we'd want to push these, like all of these things are in a whole variety of directions, and none of these are particularly big. Yeah, none of these are particularly easy to push either. Oh, here is the oil. We have a total of 300 oil to work with, which is, you know, super great. We're gonna have to. Oh, here's some more oil. Okay, so we have got some oil on the map, and then if we can get rid of these bases, then this amount of iron is not a fantastic amount of iron, but might get us into space, maybe? Is this coal going to get us into space? Unclear. Power grid extension almost certainly does not matter and might not even be the right thing to spend iron on, but we're going to do it. We're going to feel better about having done it later. Make sure all these guys are spread out, make sure everyone has their coal. We should be fine, right? We're defended. Cool, 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 enjoying this a lot. Did we bring... We don't have any walls. I think we want to start thinking about automating coal to power, because that's quite a long trip that I'd rather not make so often. But also, if we're not making that trip as often and we lose track of how much, for example, ammunition these turrets have, that could also be a little bit of a shame. So I think this brings us in a little bit underneath the wreck, a little bit too far. Yeah, this is not... Okay, and we don't have the logistics to be able to move that belt easily. That is a little bit of a shame. I guess that's how big our power grid is today. Yeah, more of the screen science than we need just to get the grenades going. Yeah, I mean, being able to see an attack wave on the map when we've got like 4 turrets there is a little bit of a concern. I did want more coal mining because sending 2 down to the power plant doesn't seem great, but also I don't really want to put down more mining, but never mind. We're gonna do that anyway. This side is the one that the power grid is prioritizing. I think we're actually going to leave some holes in this wall, because it looks like, I mean, the undamaged walls here make it look like the biters were trying to run around instead of actually hit the turrets or the walls, which I like, although it does mean that when we start to get overwhelmed, we might stay start taking more turret damage, but I think we're also going to see if we can get in here and hopefully not aggro too many of these dudes. You know, we wanted a lot. We wanted a decent portion of the attack wave so that the subsequent attack wave that rolls in is less severe. All those guys have still got all their fuel in them. I think that's fine. Should we move on to automating more of the base? Probably. It is an automation game. These guys have finished all of the green science we needed by quite a wide margin. Are we thinking about expansion mode? I think we're thinking about expansion mode, which does not feel good at all. It does not feel like we are alive enough to be able to do that, especially with, yeah, no bullets in these turrets. They'll be fine. We still have to go through steel before we get to military 2. Should we... another 500? I think we probably should just push through damage 1, given how much we've committed to it already. And then... yeah, I think we maybe have enough copper in there for all of that. And then, yeah, afterwards think about the grenades, just so that we can make sure all of these gun turrets get a little bit of a boost with the damage upgrade. So I think we're going to try and smelt the copper in a line rather than... okay, let's reorganize all of this so that we can actually get the undergrounds we need to do that. We don't need all that much copper mining yet, probably, but also there's coal which is just here. We can probably figure out how to smelt this without too much difficulty. In fact, I think we should have brought it down and then... this is turning into a disaster spaghetti base, which I think I'm okay with. I may as well be okay with it, because that's what we're doing. We're going to put some copper mining here, apparently. Am I low on... I'm kind of low on power poles, which is fine, yeah. We've got all of the coal we could want. Okay, we are also prioritizing the copper over the power grid, which is an interesting call. But I think we may as well, because we have the inserters and the belt, try and figure out where we're taking this. And yeah, I don't know. We're going to use these 4 assemblers as another cheeky little red science construction, because things like steel, which we are approaching, are very fast, and yeah, as ticks are, what, 5 seconds, whereas the other stuff is a bit slower. And then I think there's also, maybe we've already done the other 5-second ticks. Green science was one of the others. Maybe there aren't that many. I mean, there's a couple, whatever. Yeah, we probably should think about where this copper is going to go, which we have not really thought about where this copper is going to go, and where we can build everything else. And I think this belt is going to flip. This isn't actually me with a plan. This is me just building where the other thing would go, so that when we get around to building it, we've got more of it done, and so I can see more of what this looks like. But yeah, I don't know. Oh hey, it's the first unexpected attack, and I don't actually have any gun turrets with me, which is super cool. We also haven't unlocked grenades yet. Oh, not my red science assemblers, you guys. Give me that back. And then also depower the rest of the base. I think we're in the position where I kind of need to have gun turrets with me all the time. I'm glad that I also built all of the stuff that I wasn't using yet, so that the biters had a bunch of inconsequential stuff they could attack. Because we lost, what, a couple of... I mean, actually, cutting off the coal and stone and copper mining might have been the big deal there. But yeah, we need to defend everywhere. We need to have gun turrets with us at all times. Let's get working on that. Yeah. See, we are flask limited on steel, so having this other little thing that we can slap in here will do a small amount of good. Yeah, I still want to get these bullets to other helpful places, and then can we continue making gun turrets? Yeah, we are going to need to push this wall out a little bit and have a couple more turrets in here. This whole I should be running around with turrets is cool, but you know what else is cool? Also having enough turrets in other places as well. I think we're defending there? Yeah, the alarms went out, so that means that all the gun turrets have all the bullets they needed and did all the defense they needed to. Unlike these bullets, which are, yeah, not present in guns and should be. Let's have this copper belt run a little further so we could have another half lane of copper in here if we actually wanted to. And maybe we should actually think about building that now, so if we're not buffering it, it can just case. Is that 16? 17! Isn't 17 a good number of furnaces to have in a row? We like things like that. It's very sensible. The other thing that's striking me as I'm drifting down this copper belt that we're not actually using is if we could just put gears on the other side of this belt, then that would be the first science layout. And so if we reversed this iron belt, built the same intermediates here, put gears on this belt, figure out how to have chips somewhere in the middle, is that the basic starter base we need? Are we putting science down here because that's the more defended position? Except that it's not actually defended because we're still getting attacks in here, and we aren't actually, yeah, we could have attacks here as well, and that could also be a huge problem. So yeah, things still looking pretty grim. Let's do another of these little runs over to the steel, because why not? And by over to the steel we mean feed this in so that everything can run. I think if we have just got bullet damage, and we have just got bullet damage, actually we had bullet damage a while ago, maybe that's why we're stable now, I think we can afford some more iron mining, which means I think we do think about getting rid of this whole thing, and re-implementing this in the opposite direction, heading towards the other stuff, is the direction I'm going with this, because we do have splitters, right? We could have a splitter. Yeah, so is this the exact stuff I said could get us killed? Yes, but don't worry about that. It's fine. It's also the only way to go to space fast. So we are just going to build. Do we want to... Yeah, let's try and preserve... If we go this way... Which side do you put? You put it on the wrong side. Okay. In that case, we're going to go here and here. For when a coal belt eventually runs through like this or something. Anyway, let's get the build back. If we're going to go with this plan, then maybe we should also actually have some coal in a box that we're putting on those belts. It's fine. Things that bases like, okay, let's build some more intermediates over here, I guess, for which we have a decent number of assemblers, I believe. Yeah, sure. More of the same, right? Gears, gears, belt, pipes, bullets, bullets. Set all this stuff up. We're going to need more gears, but I think we do more gears on this side. And yeah, worry about how much stuff we need for science, worry about how we're going to get iron into these bullet assemblers, worry about how many more assemblers we also need for the red science. We are assuming we have defended things there. It's a necessary part of the assumption. Let's try and... No, let's not be too clever and try and save space here. We don't actually have a plan for what we're building. We just wanted these guys on a belt, and then I think also I'm talking myself out of wanting this one here. I think we're just going to do more on this side. You can stay, more power. everything has stopped flashing. It's flashing in a different place. This is still flashing. Heavy armor is a thing that we want. Okay, we've got the gears, we've got the copper down here. We want more assemblers and then more labs. And then we want to be able to get, yeah, this stuff in here. Do we move this mini science? I don't think we move this mini science yet. I think we only bother moving... Okay, all these things that no longer have an iron feed can disappear. We can have them back. Things are happening elsewhere. But I think we leave the mini science for as long as it's doing its thing. I don't really have enough iron myself, but I have just noticed that we have, other than the fact that we put a bunch of stuff in the queue, we have everything we need for the grenades, which is a pretty big deal. So let's figure out how they're going to do a thing, for which we are deciding that we needed long-handed assemblers, but never mind. I don't think we have enough resources to justify making more grenade assemblers than that, which is... sure, a decision. We also needed, yeah, more iron to be able to make those long-handed inserters. Oh, we should also limit these boxes. And then, yeah, get all that stuff making stuff. Now we have 2 grenades. Very exciting. Where are we putting? Are we putting the red science in here? Are we just going to make a mess? I think it's going to be fine. Here's the belt of stuff we need to make a decent-sized red science. What does decent-sized red science count as in a Marathon Deathworld? I think maybe 10? I think we want to leave space for more, but we would like to be able to do a lot of science because we've got a lot of science to do, but we also can't really afford the material hit for trying to do this science, and I don't know if we can necessarily afford the pollution hit of scaling up the mining to be able to do, for example, the appropriate number of green science assemblers after this either. Oh well, I reckon we just come down here a bit and we grab, yeah, these 5 labs, whatever. This is fine, isn't it? Things are normal and fine. I need iron. This is a totally normal way to build a base. What are you concerned about? Are you concerned about the biters arriving that I'm pretty sure came through this way to attack the other nests? That is, to be fair, a good thing to be concerned about. Are you concerned about these turrets not having bullets? That is also a good thing to be concerned about, as it turns out. We're just going to add more gun turrets on the back here. It's going to be fine. I did want this many, and then everyone gets bullets. Hey, that's the attack that we received last time. That's the intermediates we just set up. Cool, and that's, yeah. I did want to link the power the other way, and that is something that is encouraging me to link the power the other way. We have lost a couple of boxes of things, but it's fine. Let's put the power back with priority. There we go, we're back. What do we... This is, you know, those weren't boxes. It's fine. I would like more labs, which means I actually need more coils. Okay. And then I also need more assemblers, because something happened to the assemblers we just had. Heavy armor is finished, and we just need the copper, of which we happen to have a place that gives us copper down here, which is very exciting. Now we're going to have the heavy armor. As soon as we finish crafting the rest of the labs, what even is important to put on my queue at the moment? Did I get the assemblers? I apparently did not get the assemblers, and we're also, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. We will reorganize a whole bunch of stuff. Things are fine. Things aren't a mess. What other techs would we like? Fast insert is important. Radar. Repair kits, a lot of exciting things. Have we recovered from this? Maybe. I mean, we've also got a whole pile of labs in the inventory that we've not got around to actually putting anywhere yet. We should put those down so we can... I didn't actually need the... Did I need these assemblers? I definitely needed everything else here as well. Oh yeah, let's relimit these boxes. I think 2 stacks is probably fine. Let's also place the boxes. 2 stacks is probably fine. You guys needed inserters as well. That's the grenade button. Is it time to move? It's not time to move the mini science yet, is it? Or does everyone's out of copper? I don't have copper. That means it's time to move the mini science. Can we have more gun turrets? We are close to being able to have more gun turrets. Do we need steel at the moment? I am not convinced we need any steel. We're going to cut that off. There's a lot of other things we needed to do. Oh yeah, we also just straight up wanted gun turrets in here because we were getting attacked in this direction, which is, I mean, fair, to be honest. Yeah, let's do, you know, whatever. We've got other things we want to be doing. What are you guys doing? I don't know what you're doing. What are you guys doing? Are you working? You should be working. You are not, because we haven't done the rest of the labs. Understandable. This is how far we're going to build the thing. I don't know how many labs we have. We are kind of not in the situation of exactly counting stuff. We need another 5 labs by the looks of things. We'll get around to that later, maybe, or we might be interrupted by something else. I think this is probably a decent place to call a first episode on the grounds that this is a kind of progress. We haven't secured anything. We have pushed no bases, but we do have... we've also, yeah, cool, done all that wrong. Great, good job, enjoying that a whole lot. Could we have kept it like that? Yes, but I would have felt bad about it. Yeah, we have not secured any territory. We have... That's not true. We have pushed the 2 nests that were next to the copper right at the beginning. Otherwise, we have... How many labs is this? 31 labs. I think we're going to need more labs. We have some copper automation, we have some iron automation, we have some red science. We are getting the radar research done. We do not have the materials to be automating blue, or to be automating green science, and the security situation is still super spicy. So yeah, Marathon Deathworld on a desert world.